Happy Wednesday, you beautiful, phenomenal people. I am so excited about today's show, today's guest. I've got, I keep bringing you the who, the greatest of the greatest, because we're all extraordinary. We've got amazing gifts, talents, experiences, and I want to spotlight what we are doing collectively and how that's related to real estate. So this is Ready, Set, Real Estate, and I am so happy to bring Tony Trim to the show. Tony!
How y'all doing?
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. Tony and I were having a great offline conversation. He is in the studio, by the way, and I appreciate this brother he's repping. He's got his Los Angeles brand and shirt, and he will share more about the significance of that. But Tony actually wanted to start the show asking me and he can ask this question of me because he's a barber. This is a craftsman. So Tony asked me.
Yeah, I asked her who cut your hair. Oh, well, I asked her what what started her to think that she wanted to get a cut. Because the last time I seen her, she didn't have a haircut. I cut her son's hair, and then when I saw her, I was like, well, maybe her hair is pulled back and she just has the top out. And then I seen a video of her at the hairstylist and then she tells me that it's something that had been prolonged. She wanted to do it for a long time. Yeah. I had no idea. Or I would have set her in my chair if I would have known.
It's so funny because after I've seen pictures on your social media, on your Instagram, I saw pictures of your wife. And when you comment, he said, oh, the short hair looks nice on you. You said it's a good look on you. And I told you, thank you for that, because you being a barber and a stylist and different people who compliment me on it, that resonates with me, because it's like, if I said, wow, you got a good real estate deal, wouldn't that have some weight to it?
A lot of weight.
That would have a lot of weight. If I'm saying to you, man, you did good on that deal, or I'm so happy about your purchase or your sale or whatever. So when you say to me, oh, it looks good on you, that has some weight. Now, I actually wasn't even thinking. I went with my stylist who was doing my hair. So I went with what makes sense. Yeah, which was familiar and knowing the texture. She and my hair have a relationship.
Hey, that's a key thing. I know that's a thing for in the not so far past. It's actually recently we were thinking about selling our home and moving. So barbering and real estate have a lot in common because it's all about the relationship.
Right.
If you don't have a relationship, things can get real bad real quick.
Exactly. So I just wanted to so let's jump in. We already did, and this is how Tony is, you guys. Tony is actually a local barber here in Inglewood, and I will go ahead and leave his contact information so you can connect with him. And again, he's doing amazing things. And he, like he said, he actually cuts my son's hair. And that was a learning curve for me because I actually didn't know just kind of different. I learned heavy hand versus, different styles of cutting. And I couldn't really understand when my son was kind of like having a fit or crying every time he went to his last barber. But I since then had learned there was just maybe too much pressure with the cut or whatnot. And so we moved to Tony, and Tony has been to the point that my son falls asleep in the chair sometimes. And I'm not going to put Lathan's business out there because he will grow up and watch this and be like, Ma.
It's all right. Every kid has some embarrassing moments that their parents display, especially when it comes to that one page in high school for senior graduation.
Right. So share with us a bit of your level of skill. I saw something about, I not saw, but I read that, you said you've been cutting since you were 12. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. I can hear you, but I lost you on the sound right here.
That's
But
okay. So
there is at cutting. I've always been an artist, so I started drawing at an early age. I started doing a lot of things, dealing with creativity at an early age. And shout out to my mom, because my mom always. I'm left-handed, and my mom loved it because she's left-handed, so she always pushed it. You know what I mean? So I started out early. I started cutting hair. When I started cutting hair at 12, it was really I started cutting my own hair because I got in trouble. I used to wear long hair. I got in trouble. I couldn't get in home. I couldn't get home on time. That was the issue. Always the issue. I was a really bad kid. I just couldn't get in the house on time. And my mom, the punishments, all that other stuff wasn't working, so she knew what would work. And I got in trouble, and she sat me in the chair. And not only did she set me in, she called my dad. And my dad really didn't say much. He just put his hand on my shoulder, set me in the chair, and my mom cut my hair off. So from that, you end up with what? You end up with a mom cut.
Oh,
I can't roll with that. My mom braids hair, but my auntie did hair as well. And my auntie was like, well, I'll cut it. My auntie starts cutting my hair. She cuts my hair a few times. Then the word gets out I have like 20 something male cousins that are all younger than me. The word gets out. Now they're all there. I had something important to do, I believe, and my auntie couldn't do it because all the cousins were at my grandma's house. So I just went and I went and bought a pair of clippers and I started doing it myself. And it would take 3 hours, but you got to think you're dealing with somebody with a creative mind. So I was drawing names. I was doing. And all of them didn't come out, I guess, to other people's standards. It didn't come out great, but I was bold enough to rock it. Whatever I cut in my head, I rocked it. Sometimes there were parts that were the size of 2 fingers. Sometimes it was just the hairline and everything else bald, but I rocked it. And from there, that Christmas Eve, there were about 30 people in my mom's living room waiting to get haircuts. So from there, it grew, but I ran from it for a while because my first experience was crazy.
That's awesome. The evolution of what it takes, and it really I know that resonates with a lot of people. Especially, I heard 2 things that I wanted to just kind of reiterate. What is that? You said there was some challenges, or we like to say, I have a psych degree, so those are maladaptive behaviors. How do you manage maladaptive behaviors? And in your case, they sit you in a chair, cut it off, and that was some degree of punishment, but instead it became a reinforcement, really a negative reinforcement, because then you learned how to be creative with what they were doing. So that's really awesome. So like I said, you're local here, Inglewood business. And one of the things that really stuck out to me, especially as I was looking, when we connected, I bounced around in that day, Tony. And if you remember, 3 different barbers. It was Tuesday.
Yeah.
And 2 out of 3 were closed.
Okay.
Regular business hours. I couldn't for the life of me. And I said, Tony, this was meant to be. You're meant to be his barber.
She did say that. You're here, you're open, and it's crazy because my schedule is crazy. I have 3 kids, so at any given time, we could have missed each other. I could have been out running, doing something for the kids, and you walked in and it was perfect.
Right. And I wanted to tie that in with the significance with commercial real estate. And people know that I handle residential, but the point of the show, as we are relating real estate to a large audience, our youth, our young adults, and just everyone overall, so they can see that real estate is all around us. And here, where your business is located is a storefront commercial property on a very busy street. And one of the things that stuck out to me, especially as we're understanding running our businesses and being in a position to receive and accept this business. And that's really kind of where I wanted to support or go with the show is, are people in a position to receive business? And where you're located, especially in an area that's very prime right now, is so important that we are open and available. Because I consider myself a very loyal person. And yes, we talked about schedules. I do have you on a schedule, at least my son, because I know when I brought him in, I think it was like you were looking at me like, Mom, we're gonna get it together. we'll get it together. Just bring him every, let's 2.5, 3 weeks, get him, trimmed up, depending on, how short or long we want his hair. So I appreciate you for that. And I really wanted to also talk about Los Angeles. We were really getting into a great discussion about that. So please share with us Los Angeles, especially because we are in LA. I have a pseudo name of LA Super Agent, and we're talking about creativity. We're talking about entrepreneurship. We're talking about business. We're talking about development. We're talking about the migration and influx. Take us there. What is Los Angeles?
Well, Los Angeles I think Los Angeles grew out of just me being passionate about being a barber, me being passionate about what I did go to school to study, and I went to school to study architecture. And I noticed that, like we were talking about earlier, is a lot of people think that people move to Los Angeles for the weather. That is true to an extent, but being a barber and having a lot of people sit in my chair, and you're always asking people like, where are you from? Why are you here? How long are you going to be here?
Right.
And there's really three big things that stuck out in my head. Three big reasons why people get here. People have either been stationed here for the military and they stay, or they leave and come back because they remember it, or they have someone they love. You know what I'm saying? Someone they love is here or moved here because of a job, or they move here because their job or their industry is here. And all three of those things, to me, are passions. So Los Angeles grew out of that, and I was looking for something that gives us a sense of that explains what this I guess this county or this city is about. And most people are lost in their passions. You can move here and literally get lost in your passion. You being the epitome of that. Like, you are, I'm telling you guys, when you talk about this woman being lost in real estate, and lost doesn't have to have a negative connotation. It literally means that everything you do, you eat, sleep, breathe, your passion. And my tagline for Los Angeles is be your passion. Whatever your passion is, be it. You know what I mean? To a positive extent, you know what I mean? And not to the, aside from tearing anybody else down, you know what I mean? Right. So that's what Los Angeles grew out of. I mean, literally, there's people when you talk about like Jim Carrey's story, and Jim Carrey came on a bus with, right, what did he say? He had like a couple dollars or something. And right, maybe, I don't know if he said a guitar or whatever. So he gets here and it has to work. And he completely immersed himself in his craft or his talent and got lost in it. And people move here and literally can get lost here. And your people back home are like, where are you at? What are you doing? What's going on with you? Because you're literally lost in your passion. You're moving. Every day is something. Like this woman right here. Her schedule. She scheduled her son. She scheduled me into her schedule for her son's haircut. Like, you have to be on the schedule. If you're not on the schedule, it will just blow by. So one day she walks in, I'm like, oh, and she's like, well, we couldn't go another day. I know the day is tomorrow that you're on the schedule, but we couldn't go another day. So, but we make changes. We make arrangements for that. And that was dope to me. Right. That I'm on somebody's schedule.
I do have a calendar reminder, I do, because it doesn't, you know what, Tony, I really didn't know to the extent, and I appreciate that you said that loss does not have to have a negative connotation. You definitely surprised me with the significance of what Los Angeles means and resonates. And that really invigorates me even more, especially as you mirror it back to me, because I just had this conversation with someone that connected with me online when I released the book 2 years ago. And he said, I've been watching you. He's out in Indiana. I'll actually have him on my show next year. And it was amazing to see that what he is watching is someone who's eat, sleep. And I literally told him that I'm working on super agent pajamas right now. I sleep in the Ready Set Real Estate shirts. I need a nightgown now. I need a backpack now. I need notebooks and pen. I just, yes.
Lost.
I'm lost.
And everybody else is looking like, and it's crazy because sometimes people just get it and sometimes people don't get it. But the people that are also passionate about what they do, when you cross their path, they're like, yo, this is somebody that's, they may not use the term lost, but this, because it carries a negative connotation sometimes, but they're like, this person they're about it. They're running. They're on it. They're whatever it is they're about it. And that is, everybody knows that, especially when you come to the shop. It's like, yeah, whatever. Sometimes the older guys don't get it, but it's like, whatever she's about it. She's about it. You know what I mean? So it's oh man, it's dope. Like speaking of negative connotations, there's this country song that the I guess the hook is when it rains, it pours. But no one's, it's an awesome song because what he's talking about is positive things. It started with one thing and it snowballed to another, and he said, oh my God, when it rains, it pours. So the blessings, when they rain, they pour. It's just this, and that song is awesome. Me and my wife are like, whoa, somebody put a twist on when it rains, it pours. That's dope. So and yeah, it's awesome.
I could see why. This is why I was like, Tony, when you gonna be on the show?
I'm usually behind. I'm not. But hey, with growth comes uncomfort. You got to get out of your comfort zone. So that, and usually this is not me.
Right.
In front of a camera.
But it is very you, because you've got to be a messenger for Los Angeles. You've got to be the conduit to exactly what you see everyone do every single day. And this is why when we connected, it's so funny because I'm mindful about this, and I tell people, my audience, I share with everybody that when I get excited, I speak very fast. Like I could literally, in my mind and my brain, I could feel like I'm running.
That's right. That's how she was the first day we met at the shop. Like, Tony, you got to do the show, and I was like, the show? Whoa, what show? What show are you talking about? She's like, I got a show. You got to come on. We can this and this and this. And she's already a few years down the line, and we just met. She's already like, yo, the show. We tie that into real estate, and it's awesome because being a barber is definitely about commercial real estate, but being a barber personally is definitely about what I want a lot of barbers to know. It's definitely about residential real estate. And this thing you being a barber should put you in a position to have a home to raise your children. So that's how it ties into residential. My wife does a great job at what she does. You know what I mean? At Barack Obama Charter School, she does a great job, and that allows me to be open and free. But I pick up the slack. Her schedule is rigid. Mine's flexes. So I drop the boys off. I pick the boys up. Today, Wednesday, I got to pick the boys up and my daughter up. But I love what I do. She loves what she does. Does it take communication? Yes, it took some communication because as a barber, any barber out there knows off top, people don't think you're working. They think you're just at the shop hanging out.
Right.
You're just chilling and talking, having a conversation, but it's definitely work. Every head is different. Every cut is different. Every person's request is different.
Right. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that you did. It's essentially what I was going to segue into is the lifestyle, right? Because it's the entrepreneurship lifestyle, and you're complemented well, like you said, with your wife that has a rigid schedule, a structured schedule that supports, and you guys have a great balance for you, your family, and it allows you to be in a position to be be anchored in your community, be anchored and set those roots where you are. So I'm really excited about that. Tony Trim, you guys, you can connect with Tony on social media. Tony, what is what's your Instagram name? I just want to put it out here.
My Instagram?
Yeah.
My Instagram is Tony Trim 222. It has 3 twos behind it.
All right. Tony Trim triple twos.
With 3 twos behind it. You can find me on there.
Yeah, there we go. At Tony Trim. Best number to reach you for those who are local, who want to get styled, want to connect with you, want to learn more about supporting Los Angeles. I see you're about the tees. You have some more with you. I'm really excited about that. You can go ahead and show them. I mean,
well, yeah, this is like one of my older prints that I did for like the 4th of July, and I blended the colors. I do some summer stuff, you know what I mean? Some tanks to go with you fellas and ladies, your Nikes and your Adidas. And then I had this other thing, you know, and I know you saw it, and I'm always thinking, and, you know, I know we've all lost somebody dealing with cancer, and that's the Chuck cancer thing. And really, if you look up the definition of Chuck means to throw out, toss out, get rid of, you know what I'm saying, alleviate. So, yeah, I'm big on that. I lost a couple uncles. I lost an uncle on my side and on the wife's side. But it's awesome. They were 2 men in the same position of their family, but they left an awesome legacy. So, you know, it was their time to move on, and it's been awesome. I mean, I'm not angry. If I was angry at anything, it would be cancer, and that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother.
And that's awesome. And that's awesome. That was a great segue as we talk about what Real Estate 100 Youth Foundation is, what Ready Set Real Estate is about. It is supporting a legacy. It is spotlighting people in those industries and fields so that the mindset of a barber, a stylist, or anyone who's coming into a business or entrepreneurship should be thinking about expanding their business, albeit commercial real estate, albeit residential real estate, because when I look at the entities that are developing around us, and I look at how you can take a commercial real estate, take that salon, chop it up and rent out those booths and create residual income for yourself, that should be ideally a great plan and a goal, a blueprint for running a business and expanding your network. So I really just am excited about that, especially because when we sit in the shop and we talk, I know some of your counterparts look at me like, this chick talk a lot. and at the same token, there are those that resonate with what I'm saying and really have supported. And I have done book sales in the shop. So I appreciate that you guys allow me to run my mobile bookstore in the shop. So Tony, best number to reach you for those who are local and just want to schedule with you.
It's 310-940-0226. And the best way to reach me across that number, as my fellow barbers calling me now, is to just text me. Because if I'm cutting, you know, the wife blessed me with this electronic watch thing. It's dope. I mean, it works. But it works in the sense where if you text me, I'll get the text. If you call and I miss the call and you don't leave a message, but if you get the text, I can get back to you when I finish a cut. I can be in the middle of a cut. So it works. The text thing is awesome.
And he is responsive, personal experience. It's, you know, while I connect with people from all over the place with doing Ready Set Real Estate, I do, I'm wanting to just take a moment and pay homage and honor to the people in the community that I find intriguing, great. And I have a lot of respect for Tony as a man, as a brother, for the work that he's done, that he will continue to do. And like I said, this is what Ready Set Real Estate is about. Hey, Tony, would you close out the show and shout out on the count of 3 and however you want, Ready Set Real Estate? 1, 2, 3.
Ready, set, real estate.
There it is, you guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you. Have a powerful, productive week, and we are out.
Run it.